What's up guys, the Bobcat here and welcome back to Path of Exile, Fall of Oriath. Last time we ended off just before getting Kitava, like we always do. Also we've just leveled up to get our final level for our chaos damage. So we're going from 1759 to 1872. Also we're being attacked by someone. And that also gives us what? More chaos damage and increased cast speed and resistance. Excellent. Next off we're going to probably grab up maybe these ones, but also these ones over here. I could replace that gem. Actually, no, we're going to head down. Where is it? Oh, we could go there. Grab that gem socket, because there's another one just there, which is exactly the same distance. So we could go grab those gem sockets, put our new gem in. We'll see. I still haven't looked up. I was going to look up what the command was for getting all the masters tables, but I just realised when I alt-tabbed that I don't have my Firefox open, so that ain't going to happen. Because I'm not about to reload it all up just to close it again after looking for one thing. So that'll take place after this part, or we can spend some time just, you know, dismissing one master then summoning another one. Although this is, as I said, just, you know, 100 meters away. Well, get ready because here comes Kitava. We'll pop a portal down. And, well, here we go. Remember that statue from the cutscene? Kitava the Insatiable. Okay. There's 3 stages to this fight if I'm not mistaken. Also I just spat on my pop filter. Also casting Feeble on him. Well, for that we need to actually get closer to him. Oi! Down he goes. He'll be back in but a second, and he looks even worse. Yeah. There we go. It's coming through now. Ooh. Also he's got his like other arm released now. Yeah. He's looking better already. In fact, this isn't even like the final bit of his final form. We actually still have to wait for his chest to be blown open by the sigil, which will then unlock his heart that we can start beating on. I think he needs that.
I need more mana.
More mana. That's that, gets that, drink that, drink that. We're being horribly beaten up. The enemies hit a lot harder than I thought. Essence Drain just isn't doing its work. Yeah, you take that back inside yourself. Vulnerable to chaos. That's only because we're, you know, casting chaos on him. Ooh, that stings. And we're dead. Because he hits like a freight train. Because why wouldn't he? He's a god. Just give me a second to cast everything. Back over there in a second. I want to avoid standing in the centre of that. Also getting punched in the face as well we want to avoid. Ooh, that wave. Yeah, avoid the wave. You're throwing just bits of rubble at me. I wonder what damage he's doing. Physical? Chaos? Elemental of some description? Blood isn't really, you know, an element that we can defend against. Maybe it's just like almighty damage. Just almighty damage of some description. What are these things? There's a bunch of uniques here as well, I'm noticing. Ouch. Oh, ouch, ouch, ouch. Champion of the feast, yeah. God damn it, move. I wish I had temporal chains. Keep at least one essence drain on Kitava's heart. I think my contagion would do more work, but like suffering against these champions of the feast. Yeah, we are just melting. It's not enjoyable. I wish I knew what damage they were doing. I'm guessing it's physical. Well, good thing we, you know, we waited. Because I don't think this boss fight's going to be done for a while. Also, I just remembered we can't actually, we don't win this fight. You have to just, I don't think we can get him down to like 0 health. At some point he'll just end the fight and we'll end up moving on. Because he'll just break the sigil. Oh, here we go now. I think this is it. I think he's about to like, just destroy the sigil and we lose. Oh, there he is. He's in his full glory now. Yep, here we go. He's going to break the sigil.
The flame of hope may flicker, but it cannot be extinguished.
I thought so. So you're permanently weakened by Kitava's cruel affliction. You now lose 30% and 50% to Val skills. We don't use Val skills. So yeah, 30% to all resistances. Oh, that stings. Including chaos. Ooh, it's even worse. Okay then, well, time to talk to Sitting, so if you'll excuse me, I will be quiet while we do so.
There is no shame in falling to a god. Shame lies only in refusing to rise again. You shall soar. That much I'm permitted to foresee. You shall ascend to the peak of your loftiest mistake, and from there you shall pluck a single surviving hope from the jaws of immortal despair. A ship sails for Lion Eye's watch not far from here. Be on it.
Well, I guess we're going back to wherever. Overseer's Tower? Yeah, well, we can't expect it to win, really. I mean, ooh, Lily. Who are you? Are you? Okay, you're the person that'll take us away from here. Cool. Is this the tower? No, it's a cathedral rooftop again. Can we go back? Like, can we go say hi to Kitava again? Or is that a terrible idea? No, the gates are locked. Never mind. Well, let's just walk back to the overseas tower, talk to everyone, then we'll hop on the ship and head back to Oriath and get washed up on the shore. Like, actually, no, we won't. We don't wash up on the shore. Could I take that back? I don't want to. Anyway, let's talk to everyone. I'll be quiet.
You're still alive. So is Kitava. What more do you need to know? You'll find a way. I believe it. For freedom.
Kitava is a primal deity, forged from the most fundamental of human desires. Hunger. The simple act of craving that which we cannot yet consume. To defeat Kitava is to squeeze the very heart of human nature into stillness. You don't think you can do that? I suppose we'll see, won't we? Tootles.
I don't ask this in the name of innocence. He understands now the folly his devotees have wrought upon this world. I ask in the name of Oriath. There are many that deserve what Kitava offers, and there are many more who do not. Put an end to Kitava's savage reign, for there remains much in this land that is worth saving.
Cool. Let's sell stuff. We got that to sell. Get rid of that ring as well. And I'll keep Ice Nova. I can't help but keep those things.
Blesses your journey.
I want to take that portal, but I feel like it might break the game if I do. So we're not gonna take it, sadly. But let's walk back to the keep. Let's walk back to the cathedral rooftop and off to back to Wraeclast. Also, we're gonna talk to Lily Roth. So, if you'll excuse me a second, I'll be quiet once again.
I'm Captain Lily Roth, and we sail for Wraeclast. Better to live in exile than die on this psychotic bonfire of an island. You want to make it out of here, you'd better get on board. But make it quick, 'cause I ain't got time for tears and regrets.
Well, off we go, and we'll see what's changed in Wraeclast and back from Act 1. I know stuff has. As I said, I've seen some of the stuff before, but let's go.
Remember, this ain't no charity run. You owe me. Cast off!
Her voice actor's kind of strange. Here we are, Lion Eye's watch. We actually have a dock now. Let's talk to her again.
Alright, we're safe for the time being. Now let me introduce myself properly. Lily Roth. Yep, I'm one of those Roths. Some call me smuggler, others pirate. Yeah, I prefer the sound of nautical entrepreneur. Came up with that one myself. So you come see Lily if you need something, or even if you just fancy a good chat with a lovely lady. Don't think I'd be forgetting that favour you owe to me. In fact, now I think of it, there's certainly a way you can be repaying this most considerable debt. You see, those blasted cultists have been plundering the refugee ships trying to escape Oriath, and if not for my incomparable skill as a sea captain, we'd have met the same fate. But now the drowned dead are washing ashore, and they ain't staying dead. There's been a whole lot of blood, sweat and tears getting these few lucky survivors here in one piece. What sort of captain would I be if I let them get ripped apart by walking corpses? Wipe the Twilight Strand clean of those filthy undead bastards and I'll call us even. Might even throw in a little something extra if you can pull it off. Wraeclast Roth. Here, let me share something I remember from me granddaddy's stories. No sooner had the others turned in fear from the Great White Leviathan did Wraeclast load the ballista with his final harpoon. And right then he vowed to sea and sky that he and he alone would be the one to finally kill this bastard son of the Brine King. The ballista fired and the harpoon smote that creature right between the ribs as it made to dive back under the angry sea. Thick clouds of blood bloomed beneath the waves, roses flowering in the black water, and impossible though it seemed, the already shadowed ocean grew darker still. He used the bones of the great beast to reinforce the hull of his ship, the Black Crest. Old Rottooth, he's a true legend, a real pirate hero. I can only hope one day me own stories will reach his ears and make him proud of the granddaughter he had to leave behind. Yeah, I knew Tarkley, if you catch me drift. He's got no time for his old bunkmate these days, though. Too gaga-eyed over his lost cause of a fishwife Nessa. Time was, Tarkley and I would smuggle all about the coast of Oriath. Oh, good days they was. Sweet with rum, nothing but the wind and salt in our faces, freedom in our hearts, and the law on our tails. But I could tell he were getting ready to make feet for children's stockings with me, so I cut him loose. Not a spark's chance under the ocean the dreaded Lily Roth's gonna wind up swelling like some drowned carcass. Still, nice to work with that bugger one more time, just for old time's sake, you know? That scallywag. I reckon Bestel thinks I'd be the kind of lass who'll bed down with any sort of rascal. Not too far off, I guess. He is rather sweet, but not the most comely of figures. Actually, he kind of reminds me of my grandfather, Wraeclast Roth. A poet and scoundrel extraordinaire he be. Bestel's but spittle from the mouth of old Rottooth Roth. Ahem. Bust my blind cheek, said the sailor to the doxy. She sports her dairy treats afar and relishes her moxie. But a fire ship will sink the broken neath the ocean waves. Tip nutmegs a deadly token sends captains to their graves.
That's interesting. So, clear the Twilight Strand. Also, something's happened to Nessa. So, Lily's going to be taking that position soon. We'll have to talk to Sid and everyone else and we're 12 minutes in, so good, more dialogue. Oh boy, a lot of talking. Still, a lot of stuff has changed. I'd say a lot. Nessa's gone for a start, as you can see on the map. Also, remember that name Wraeclast Roth? He's important. We'll be seeing him later. Let's talk to everyone again. Oh, Sid now. So I'll be quiet once again.
Despite your best efforts, Beast Slayer, a splinter of hope remains. The very seed that brought my beast into existence. The Dark Ember. Never again shall it birth a life so magnificent as the beast. Yet a residue of that power still lingers. Enough to give us a fighting chance against the ravenous Kitava. How do we obtain this Dark Ember? 3 hearts were silenced. 3 hearts must sing again, one last time. In that final flickering of life, our Savior's seed shall be born. All I need are 3 fine souls with which to stoke the flames. Chevron of Umbra, Inquisitor Maligaro, Doldry the Dark Tongue. 3 spirits of near unfathomable resilience and vigor, freed with the beast's final exhalation. So let us begin the harvest. Chevron has come home to Axiom. We shall give her the warm welcome she sincerely deserves. If she is to be of any use to us, The Umbra's spirit must be wrenched from her mortal manifestation and lashed to our greater cause. That is your task. For my part, I shall negotiate the terms of her cooperation. With a tragic kiss and lasting embrace, her essence shall pass into me as if she were a sweet breath from the mouth of my lover. It is a sacrosanct sacrifice for all involved. Thankfully for you, all I ask is that you do what you clearly do best. Kill. Ambition is the bane of mortality. It was through ambition that we gods transcended the thick mud and thin blood of our mundane birthrights. Ambition that drove us to sustain our divine selves through the subjugation of others. Chevron's soul is made up of 1 part ambition and 2 parts raw, unbounded passion. Such a volatile spark shall burn briefly and brightly, in even the most deadened of hearts. I shall put this simply, for in truth, everything comes down to the simple act of planting a seed in the ground. The gods are rising because you slew the one creature that prevented them from doing so. Your name for it is the Beast. It was I who planted the seed in the rich soil beneath Highgate, who nurtured it, who watched it bloom into maturity, even as I succumbed to its mollifying powers. We gods, we were driven into slumbering darkness, to dream away eternity whilst the gentle beast watched over us. I would desire that we return to that blissful state, but my brothers and sisters of deism shall never submit to banishment. They have tasted freedom once more, and they shall not let go of this world until it is pried from their cold, dead hands. The beast was never a cruel master. It didn't want to destroy, to corrupt, to terrorize. It simply existed to exist. I made it that way. Unfortunately, in neglecting to provide it with ambition, I made it vulnerable to the ambitions of others. Queen Atziri and Doriani, Emperor Chittus and Malachi. Others even before them. I created a beast that would free humanity from the tyranny of the gods. Yet all I really did was provide the perfect tool with which humanity could tyrannize itself.
So he was the Beast, or at least he became part of the Beast. Yeah, the active changed a lot. And we have people to talk to again. Vestal and Darkly. Ah, so much talking. Well, I guess we'll start with Vestal. And then we'll deal with the Trial Strand. We're already 18 minutes in though, so I'll be quiet once again. In fact, I don't even know if I'll talk again till we talk to Darkly. So I'll be quiet and we'll talk to Vestal.
Now there's a pair of eyes I could never forget. If the tales are true, those peepers of yours have seen all the wonders of Wraeclast by now. And a few things they likely wish they hadn't. Oh, and no need for us to speak of Oriath. My ears are brimful with the sorrows these wretched companions of yours have been spilling. Now, I'm sure you've noticed that Lion Eyes Watch has seen better days. Our once bubbling township has, alas, become a brooding quagmire of gloom and despair. I blame the unrelenting weather. As you know, I am both a humanitarian and a strong believer in the soul-sustaining power of story. Back when I was still captain of the Merry Gull, many days at sea afforded me time to work on my thespian aspirations. I wrote a theatrical epic, a one-man show entitled Cedric and the Buxom Stranger. I sealed the manuscript inside a roll of oiled leather and stashed it in the hold for safekeeping. Perhaps you could salvage it for me from that tidal island upon which my poor ship came to rest. Who knows? Maybe we can bring some joy back to Lion Eyes Watch with a bit of live entertainment. Now there's a sorry tale, more miserable than any dirge I've ever heard. Nessa's gone, wandered off into the night muttering to herself about dancing to his ditty. No, I didn't go after her. In truth, she was gone when I woke up the next morn. I only imagined she'd be muttering, you see, on account of the murmuring she's been making these past few weeks. always the same. About him and his song, whoever in damnation he is. Lily Roth, granddaughter of the legendary Rottooth Roth. Oh, apologies if I seem a little giddy. It's not any old day you get to meet marine royalty. I mean, you know how I feel about pirates and all, but the Roths have as much in common with those scurvy sea rats as a shark does with a goldfish. Lily has her granddaddy's blood in her veins. It's plain for all to see. Look at the luster in her eyes, the ruddy blush of her skin. That there's a pirate princess, and no mistake. Yes, we live in curious times indeed. A time when old stories are being birthed, mewling and puking into our world of dirt and blood. It's all a bit inspiring, really. Hence, I've written a little something. Ancient anecdotes now wake from their beds, looming in our fears, towering above our heads. Age-old lusts and bygone greeds, walking and reeking as humanity bleeds. Rivers of history, lakes of blood, the gods stand upon us as we cower in the mud. You won't find a sailor that doesn't whisper a quiet prayer to the Brine King before casting off. In fact, under the maddening radiance of a full moon, the more superstitious captains would drown some poor slave or failed mutineer just to keep old Tsoagoth happy. No, that wasn't a sneeze. That's the fish god's old Esmerian name. It's considered foul luck to speak it on board a ship. A keel-hauling offence. You'll not find a more renowned pirate as Whalem Rottooth Roth. In times when Fairgraves was still a whelp earning his sea legs, Rottooth was prowling the Strait of Oriath in his ship, the Black Crest. It's said he built it himself, lining its hull with the bones of some great sea beast he slew with nothing but a harpoon and a bottle of rum. Never was there a more nimble, more ferocious vessel, like that Leviathan spirit still lived and breathed in its timbers. No one sighted Rottooth for 20 years or more, but I know where the Black Crest is. The ship graveyard, no less. Seems that Whalem Roth might have had his last meal with Lady Mervale.
So Ness has been acting weird for the last few, well, let's say months. What did we do recently? Oh yeah, it was kill the beast. What did killing the beast do? It released the old gods. Guess what the final boss is of this act? It's the Brine King. Yep, I'm gonna kill old whatever his name was. Tsugi or whatever they called him. We'll also be unlocking a new tab in here, I think. Somewhere. Anyway, time to talk to Tarkley, and we're 23 minutes in, going on 24, so let's chat with Tarkley, then it's off to the Twilight Strand.
First we hear that Oriath has lost its bloody mind, and then you turn up. Doesn't take a scholar to work out how these two events might be connected. I don't know what's going on out there, and I probably wouldn't understand it if I saw it with my own two eyes. What I do know is this. The world we knew, it's gone. Now we have to do our damnedest to make sure we don't go with it. Nessa. I saw her one night, running out across the coast, headed in the direction of the mudflats. Called out to her, but she didn't even turn her head. Maybe she couldn't hear me. Maybe she didn't want to. I don't bloody know. I tried to run after her, but she'd vanished into the darkness before my feet had barely touched the sand. So I tracked her, all the way to the mudflats, and that's when her tracks, they just stopped. No sign of meeting someone or something. No sign of a struggle. It's like one moment she was running and the next, gone. Look, I've heard some things about what you've done. Things that beg a belief. Now you can do this. Please. Find Nessa. Bring her back to us. I wonder how much Lily squeezed out of those refugees from Oriath. Yes, she did risk her life and ship to save them. But I knew the Lily of old, a damn fine smuggler. And that Lily never did a good deed that didn't also turn a profit. Never took much stock in the stories Lily told. Didn't sit right. Those full moon sacrifices her and her ilk would do out on the open water. But now, in light of everything, I'm obliged to reconsider. If it meant Nessa might be spared the attentions of that wretched Brine King, I'd even be inclined to slit a mutineering throat or two myself. Those shambling nobles out there on the strand, they left Oriath to die a bloody death, rats fleeing a sinking ship. Seems they learned a bit of the hard truth, though. Doesn't matter how much money you have, you can't outrun death when it comes for you. Can't say they've actually noticed, though. They're still the same flesh-eating bastards they've always been. Just a bit more obvious about it now. Stay sharp.
So let's clear the Twilight Strand. We've got a few minutes left. No one else from you? No. Nothing else from you? Nope. When we meet old Wraeclast later on, we'll talk to them again. Yeah, I don't even know what letters from the Exiles are. Still, back to the Twilight Strand. I don't think Hillock's here anymore. I think he's gone for good. I think that might be his body there. No, those are nobles. Never mind. Well, I don't know. Is it clear? Is it a full clear sort of scenario? It might be. I think it might be a full clear. We'll have to wait till we kill some stuff first before we can be sure. Oh. Yeah, they're all nobles now, rather than the poor filthy peasants they were last time. Well, I say peasants, slaves and exiles, but you know. Only feels like, what was it, 10 days ago? Wow, it's only been 10 days. Sort of, maybe slightly longer. Also, these guys are easier to kill than the damn ones back in Oriath were.
I need more mana.
Which is positive. In fact, these even drop good amounts of experience, from what I can tell by the way the bar's moving. But yeah, if I'm not mistaken, the boss of this area is that guy from part 1. The very guy we spoke to before he had his throat chewed out by a by one of the drowned dead or whatever they were called. At least I think it is. It makes sense. A little camp here that was set up and, well, didn't end well for them. I suppose you've got to actually have a gate to keep stuff out. Well, fortunately everything's nice and slow moving. So it all dies fairly easily to our glories of corruption and essence drain. Just gotta make sure I don't get hit by the mortar strikes that come out after them. After we've finished them off. Still, we're nearly at 30 minutes, and I'm probably going to stop recording after that, because my throat's starting to hurt, and I'd actually like to, you know, do something else for a bit. Get these videos rendered out and such. Also get some dinner, because it's, you know, nearly 10 o'clock. And I'd like to be able to eat. In the meantime, yeah, that's a combination of words indeed. I will probably look for what the console command is to get all the workbenches from the masters, and I'll probably do that off camera, and you know, that way I can get all that stuff started out and I can just show it on camera next time. 29, take that, take that. Is there any fancy ones here? I'm not seeing any. Nope. And we're at nearly at 30 minutes, so we should be able to clear this place out. I don't think we've got that much further to go. In fact, I think this is the end. Yeah, see, that's where the guy was back in Act 1. Looks like he's not here. Unless that's him. I guess not. Shame. Yeah, that's where his corpse was. That's where we washed up, actually, here. Cool. Nothing there to take. We'll just walk back 'cause it's quicker, and we'll talk to Lily. And I'll be quiet again when we do, and then we will end the part. So I'll be back in a second.
A wretched sight. So many drowned Oriathans cast into undeath. You freed them from their torment, and I'm sure they'd be grateful. Here, that little something extra I were talking about. Though the sea takes away, it gives back in greater measure. While you be skulking about, I've managed to do a bit of hunting on my own. Got a hole full of baubles and trinkets here, which I managed to, procure. Take a look. You might find something particularly naughty to help you on your life's voyage. You have the look of a wayfarer about you. I've a few bits and bobs in the hold that I managed to salvage from Oriath. Might be you're in the market for a little insurance for the road. The sort of nautical charm or a quaff of tonic be providing. Go on, have a look-see. And if you're thinking to trade, I reckon we can come to a fair arrangement.
Cool. She'll eventually move to where Lily's place was. In fact, she's selling a bunch of stuff. Is the gem here I want? I'm not seeing it. It looks like a heart with a pair of wings around it. Anyway, we're going to cut the part here because we have hit 30 minutes. In fact, we've gone past 30 minutes. So I will see you all next time. So I hope you all have enjoyed. If you have, leave a like, say more people will comment as well. And I will see you all next time.